Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena and I am the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking and all the things in between. Today I'm so excited that we're going to be doing part of an open collaboration hosted by Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. This is their Homeschool Show and Tell for the 2022 and 2023 school year. And this September, they are doing a Get to Know Us. And so it's a homeschool this or that. I didn't look at the questions beforehand because I thought it would be more fun to just try to answer it on the fly. So let's see if we can get through this. The first one, coffee or tea, that's easy. For me, coffee. If I have to pick one, I'm probably gonna pick coffee. Early bird or night owl. Honestly, I'm somewhat of a afternoon pigeon, if that's a thing. But if I have to choose either or, I would probably go with early bird. I just don't stay up late. I can't. Paper planning or digital planning. Paper planning, I have a lot of plan with me's and that type of things. I've always been a list maker. So if you want to see some plan with me's, check out the channel. There's a bunch there. But I definitely a paper planner girl. Plan ahead or plan from behind. Plan ahead if I possibly can. We are actually in a season where we are just like having to trust God with every little step. I mean, you have to do that anyways, I feel like, with life, but we're in a season where I just cannot see what next week is going to look like, much less minute by minute. So if I can, I love to plan ahead, but there are seasons that we go through where that is just not possible, and trust and faith have to come in very, very strongly there. One homeschool method or eclectic. Oh, sorry, I think the sun just went behind a cloud, so sorry for the lighting. Definitely though, one homeschool method or eclectic. We are definitely eclectic homeschoolers. My youngest is on the autism spectrum, and so I find that I have to do a lot of different curriculum styles with him, just with the seasons he goes through. And I think actually that could fall true for any child. So we definitely say that we have an eclectic style of how we homeschool, and just picking out what works for us. And sometimes what works for us this year won't work for us next year, and so on and so forth. So we just kind of take it seasonally, I guess. Homeschool hoarder or minimalist. Probably leaning towards more the hoarder, because I wish I was a minimalist. Like, I wish I could just have one, like in all areas, in more areas of life, I wish I could just be that, like, only one per person or one in a spare, but I just am not wired that way. I try to keep things as minimal as we can, but I'm definitely have a backup kind of plan girl. So I keep a lot of curriculum. My oldest has started 10th grade this year, and so some of his curriculum that I can keep and recycle, I definitely do that in the hopes that maybe one of my other children can use it. And because my youngest son cycles through a couple of different kinds of curriculum, I just find that that works best for us, to hang on to what we can in hopes that he can use it. But once he's passed through it, I've been learning to let go of that and either pass that forward to another family that can hopefully use it. Crayons or markers. I love crayons. My kids are going through a marker stage. I just think that happens. So for me personally, crayons all the way. There's nothing like that fresh box of crayons smell. So great. So crayons for me, markers for them. Whiteboard or chalkboard. We actually have both, but I really love chalkboard. I would, if we could, have an entire wall just decorated, just painted with chalkboard, but we rent, and that would just be too much to try to cover up later. So we do use whiteboard right now because it's just easier on rentals, but God willing, someday when we get a forever home, I love to have an oversized chalkboard wall. Games or puzzles. I kind of feel like those go hand in hand. Is that a either or choice? My youngest does puzzles the best, and I really enjoy doing puzzles as well. But as a family activity, games would probably be a better choice, because not all the kiddos like to do puzzles. So screens or no screens, we are a screens family. Sometimes I wish we used less, and sometimes I'm just fine with how much we use it. So we try to put limitations on how long the screens are on, but again, when things get stressful or when things are hard, we tend to be on our screens a little bit more, meaning that when mom needs like a mental day or something like that, we often will take a day and have too much screen time. I also really enjoy doing movie studies with my kids, and I like to do fun activities where we pair up food with the movies. So I think I have a short video on the channel that kind of shows what I mean by that. If you want to see that, I will link that up in the cards for you to see. Pajamas all day or get dressed. We are trying to get dressed, but we are definitely pajamas all day if we can get away with it, especially in the winter months. It's just so hard to want to get up and get dressed. But there's an old joke where the kids are in their pajamas and the dad comes home from work and the kiddos tell the dad, Mom says these are our school uniforms. And I just feel like that's kind of us most days. I am trying to get better. Like, we are trying to get better and get dressed daily. Read aloud or independent reading. I really wish we could pick one, because pick both, but it says you can only choose one. If we can only choose one, I would definitely read aloud. I like to read to my kiddos, and now that my oldest is older, I like to have him take turns and read to us as well. But I do enjoy having that family time together to read aloud. But we do have independent reading time as also, so that's why I was like, I wish we could choose both, because we actually do both. Classic or modern literature. Probably modern literature in our homeschool. We do have a couple of classics, but for the littles, it's a little bit more difficult to get them into it. When I think classics, I think like Narnia series and Little Women, that kind of stuff. And that for my littles, we did try to read the Narnia series, but my two youngest are not quite ready for it yet. It didn't hold their interest. I also am trying to read the Little House series with my daughter, but we're taking it very slowly because it has not quite piqued her interest. They are definitely more into the modern literature. Science or history. These are hard. I did not expect them to be these hard. My kids are divided on this. My daughter really loves science, and I love to encourage her in that. But this past 2 years or so, we really dove into history, in particular American history. It has been really enlightening to us as well. And so I guess for the sake of my daughter, I would say science, because that would keep her attention. Art or music. Art. I am not musical at all. I don't play any instruments, unfortunately, and my kids started learning how to play the ukulele, but they just 2 out of 3. So I still need to get my youngest. I would love for them to learn piano. We don't play any instruments, unfortunately, right now. So art. We do enjoy chalk pastels and painting when we can. It can get very messy, but all that fun stuff, art definitely. Nature study or poetry tea time. Nature study. Poetry tea time is a little bit harder with my youngest. It's hit or miss with him, how long he will sit still for us. So nature studies seem to work out a little bit better, just getting outdoors and doing something really simple like a nature walk or something like that, where you can be a little bit more active. But I love the idea of poetry tea time. We have tried it a couple of times, especially in winter months where we can have hot cocoa instead of tea, but it's not on the regular. Lunch with your kids or lunch alone. I would love to do lunch with my kids on the daily, but the way sometimes my schedule works out, I don't eat with them. I am preparing their food and I sit with them for the first part of it, and then sometimes if I haven't got my workout in, I will excuse myself to go do that. And again, now that my oldest is in high school, he is setting more of his own schedule, so he doesn't always eat lunch. He eats sometimes a little bit later because he wants to finish up one of the subjects that he's working on or something like that. So lunch together would be ideal, but it doesn't always happen. School at the table or school all over the house. School all over the house. We have school happening everywhere, especially because the kids are in such different grades, and sometimes they just need extra space, and thankfully we're in a position now where we can have a little bit more space to space them out. So school is definitely happening all over the house, including this year we started doing school in the backyard. And I hope when temperatures get a little bit cooler in the middle of some like serious heat, we can start doing school at the park too. Take summers off or school all year round. Take summers off. We have done a couple times where we've done school all year round, but well, now that I'm saying it, we don't take summer completely off, but we do scale back. So I don't know if you would consider that school all year round. We don't keep our full schedule during the summer. It is a smaller summer school type thing, but we definitely take some longer breaks in between summer just to get that mental break from doing school all year long. And then we introduce just a couple of subjects in the summer just to keep us active and on a little bit of a routine. And then finally, mummify a chicken or dissect a frog. Neither, please. I remember dissecting a frog in school. Actually, I don't even think I did a frog. We dissected an earthworm, and even that was enough for me. I guess I would go with mummify a chicken. I don't even know where we would start with that, but I have watched with parts with my older child the process of how to process a chicken. So I guess that's why I would go with mummify a chicken. And that's all the questions. This was kind of fun, a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be to pick some of these choices. But thanks so much for hanging out with me and getting to know me a little bit better. If you want to answer the questions and you have a channel, join. I will link the collaboration list below and you can create your own video. And if you don't have your own channel and you still want to answer these questions, I would love to hear your responses. Comment down below and let me know which you would choose. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And in case you don't know, or maybe you just haven't heard lately, may I please be the one to remind you that you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. I deeply appreciate you being here with me and taking your time out of the day and hanging out with me. Thanks so much for being here.